Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in this video, we're going to be taking our render prop toggle even further into the next level, where we're going to be using child props to sort of obfuscate some of the stuff that's going on and really make this thing clean. So let's get going on that right now. Okay, so we now rebuilt our toggle using a render prop. You can see the prop name render. Again, this could be named anything you'd like. This could be named penguin, okay? Just to stress this here, if we were to save this and then come in here and then output this function as penguin rather than render, this thing is still going to work a-okay, okay? So again, render is not a special name by any means. But what we're going to be doing here is rewriting this now with a special prop name. And you're going to see why exactly a certain style of render prop that you should be seeing quite frequently by now is working, okay? So let's go ahead and let's leave toggle as it is for right now. I'm going to create another new file, and we'll just name this toggle rpc.js. Now, what's up with the C? Well, I didn't want to type out render props children in here, okay? So let's go ahead and head to toggle renderprops.js. Let's copy all that stuff out of there, paste it into toggle rpc.js. Now at this point, let's head to app.js and let's import toggle rpc. Okay, so we mentioned that, well, this render is not a specific prop name, right? This thing is just could be anything. And what we've learned about render props so far is, again, it's just a function that's passing in things, and then you have access to them in here. So how can we make this cleaner? Well, we can make this cleaner by using the special prop that doesn't actually need to be defined as a prop. And if you remember, inside of our toggle.js, we used this .props.children. Okay, so now we're going to be using, once again, children to output this code correctly. In the process here, we're going to make this whole thing a lot nicer. We're going to remove these divs. So first thing we want to do is destructure out children from here. So we're going to say children. Instead of using the render function, we're simply just going to be using the children function. Now, I'm going to remove everything from this bracket to this parenthesis here, because what we're going to be doing is simply just returning the render result out of here. So that means we can delete this div and this stuff as well. Let's make sure everything's lining up, which it isn't. We simply are just returning, again, the render function with this stuff in it. However, this time we don't want to return the render function. We want to return the children function, or the children prop, okay? So we have the children prop in here, and just like this, okay, this should sort of work for what we're doing. However, it's not going to work just yet. If you head back to your application, obviously, children is not a function, right? We're not passing anything into children. It doesn't exist. So how can we make children into a function? Well, let's head back to our app.js and let's talk about this whole render. Now, you'll remember from our very first example, when we had children in here, we used children by simply having a toggle, then another toggle, and that anything in between these two tags was automatically defined as the children prop. So just like our last example where we had our render prop in here, let's go ahead and delete this render equals out of here, along with this curly bracket. Let's delete that. Let's delete that. And simply all we have here is an arrow function returning our HTML once more. Let's bump this up here and let's delete this rogue closing tag. So now what we're doing is saying, hey, we have a toggle component here, and the children is going to be a function that's getting past the on and toggle, and that children is going to be returning simply just a function where we're actually getting the on and toggle. Okay, so these are how you're going to be seeing render props a lot. Now, if we save this, we should be able to see this working. On and toggle is not defined. Looks like I maybe have some issue here. Let's head back to our code. And there is, in fact, an issue. If you had good eyes, you would have noticed that, hey, we're just have some sort of arrow function in our JSX code. And I don't remember the last time you tried to use just a standard, some JavaScript in the middle of JSX, but it doesn't like that. It doesn't like it when you do that because it doesn't work. One thing I want to do actually first is pull out these parentheses from here and then wrap this whole thing in brackets. Okay, so yours should look bracket, parenthesis, bracket, on toggle, bracket, parenthesis, the arrow function, then we're returning this, and then we're closing our bracket. You could think of these brackets as just any sort of JavaScript expression like you normally have in JSX. And now if we save this, there we go. We should see this thing working now. Now, show and hide me is going to be brilliantly usable anytime we want to use this. So this is awesome because let's say we did have this in our header and we wanted to have one thing here and one thing there. You could wrap your entire header in this toggle or your entire main nav. And the thing that's being show or hidden can now be, well, you have a ton more flexibility, right? Let's say this was another component, and let's just say component. We could pass this to an on, right? We could just say, hey, the on comes into this component. And now with that toggle, you could do anything you wanted to inside of this component. I mean, this on is just a true and false prop now that you have access to, and this toggle is now a function that you have access to change this value. Again, you'll see this technique used all over the place. And you can see instantly why it's so nice and reusable. When you hear people talking about this, this should be a blatant example about how this is now reusable, because anything that we need to toggle, we just have to wrap in this toggle little bit right here, and we now have access to a function and a value. And the toggle is not tied to anything. Again, we can reuse this just like we were able to reuse the one where we actually had the prop named render. So check it out. We have now built this reusable toggle that we are going to be using for the rest of this series. There'll be lots of instances where you're going to be like, oh, perfect. I'm so glad we built that toggle. Okay, so this is one really cool thing, and hopefully you understand the process behind render props now. And there's a whole lot more flexibility than we can do than just simply outputting this sort of stuff, but you can now see that we have sort of state that can get passed along, and then you can use it in this lovely clean syntax like this. So hopefully this makes a lot of sense and you're all of a sudden illuminated to what and why of render props. In the next video, we're going to be talking about a feature in React that came in one of the latest versions of React that allows you to use a built-in element that does not include any code. So I hope you're enjoying this preview of Level 2 React. If you want to check out this full series where there is 23 videos where we cover all sorts of things like portals, some really amazing animations. We cover styled components in depth where we're creating sort of a reusable system. We even dive into the new React Context API, and we build some really amazing stuff. So if you want to learn and level up your React skills, check out Level 2 React, available for sale right now on leveluptutorials.com/store. It's going to be the first video up here right near new to Level Up Tutorials, or you can see it in featured products. Now, if you want to get access to this series along with all of these other series you see here, you can check out Level Up Pro, which is a premium subscription service where you can get access to all of the content on Level Up Tutorials, where there's a new premium series every single month. In addition to that, if you subscribe annually, you save 25%. So if you like the content and you want to keep getting new monthly tutorials every single month for a year, check out the subscribe annually. You'll save some bucks and you'll get access to everything. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.